Hello, we're back here at Africa Down Under, and I'm joined, it's a real privilege to be joined by the Nigerian Minister for Solid Mineral Development, the Honourable Oladele Alake.
Correct.
Minister, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And it's wonderful to see you here in Western Australia for Africa Down Under. Now, Nigeria is a well-known producer of hydrocarbons and one of the world's largest oil industries. But is it true to say that you're looking to diversify the economy into hard metal mining as well?
Exactly. That's why we are here, actually. As you said, the whole world knows Nigeria as a major exporter of oil. And we have been on monocultural economy for decades, and we're looking to diversify for a few reasons, quite obvious reasons as well. Number one, the whole world is shifting from hydrocarbons for global warming, and Nigeria needs to make our own contributions to green energy. So we are looking at shifting into the hard minerals, solid minerals underground, and that takes us away from the hydrocarbon fossil fuel. Number two, we need to diversify the economy. We have been too much dependent on oil, and oil is going down in global affairs now, and we need to shore up our revenue sources. So we need to open up other sources of revenue for the economy to grow and to create jobs and bring in money for infrastructural development, technological development. And we have vast amounts of minerals, solid minerals, yet untapped, profitably untapped. And so we have to, that's why I'm even made minister by the president, because he trusts my judgment and track record of performance implicitly. And so the mandate is to develop the solid minerals and bring in the necessary revenue for Nigeria's growth and development. And the good thing is that we've discovered one of the largest deposits of lithium, high-grade lithium in Nigeria. And in fact, we are looking at Australia because Australia has vast experience, several years, more than 100 years of mining. And so we have the regulatory framework. Our Mining Act is fashioned after that of Australia. So you can see that we are making strenuous efforts to open up Nigeria and taking after those that have gone there before us and have made good. Australia is noted for mining. And so we're looking to go the way of Australia too.
And of course you have one of Australia's most famous mining entrepreneurs, Hugh Morgan, who's very active,
Yes.
active in the country with basin mining. Do you think you've got it's very difficult to attract foreign investment into African jurisdictions. Do you think you've got the policy settings right to be attractive to international?
Yes, we have gotten the policy right. Like I said, the regulatory framework is fashioned after that of Australia. Number two, we are putting in place certain policy initiatives to ensure that investors are attracted in. We are putting in policies like security around the sector so as to ensure the safety and security of investors. Then we're putting another policy initiative to ensure the stability of regulatory framework so that and incentives for investors. For instance, we are giving tax exemptions. We are looking at giving tax exemptions. In fact, including exemptions from tax on machinery, customs excise on machineries, on equipment, and even flexibility of repatriating earnings by foreigners to make all of these attractive to foreign investors.
As you mentioned, Nigeria doesn't have a long history in commercial large-scale mining, but looking at the demographics of the country and the economy and the experience and education of your population, would it be fair to say that there's a lot of opportunity for foreign mining companies to tap into the expertise of Nigerian nationals?
True, there are very, very many opportunities, an array of opportunities over there. We have one of the largest populations in Africa, in fact, the largest, I think, in Africa, and highly educated and young, and that's a vast pool of labor and skilled population as well. We have a very high percentage of educated people in Africa. and the topography is very friendly. It's almost like Australia as well. We have a tropical climate, and foreigners, investors especially, are quite welcome, and the population is friendly. The people are very forthright, forthcoming. The only thing we need to get straight, which we are working strenuously on, is security, because there's this perception, or maybe I say misperception, of security, terrorism, and all that, all across the West African sub-region. But Nigeria stands out. It's about the most stable now politically. And since 1999, 24 years, we've had a very stable political system and peaceful transition of power from one government to the other. We just had one. The new government is in place. My president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has just been elected for a 4-year term, and he's made some radical policy, economic policy initiatives, like removal of subsidy, that in 46 years, no government in Nigeria had the courage to confront that. He did on his first day in office, and he's matched the multiple exchange rate, which was very scary to foreign investors. And so some of these radical, transformative policies are attracting foreign investors, and we are looking to attract more.
And what would your advice be to Australian investors watching this interview now? How should they approach coming into Nigeria? What's the key to being a successful investor in Nigeria?
That is the fundamental reason we're here, to market Nigeria to Australians and foreign investors generally. We've created a conducive environment for foreign investment to come into the country, and we're putting in the regulatory policies and policy initiatives that will make investors very happy. And of course, anybody wanting to come into Nigeria now will approach us in the Ministry of Solid Minerals, and we engage. We give out that we have a lot of data that will help investors to make informed decisions on what is where in parts of Nigeria. We have very large deposits of minerals like gold, bauxite, kaolin, barite, phosphate, lead, zinc, and lithium now, which is one of the most sought after minerals in the world. We have one of the largest quantities, and in fact, an Australian company is right there now prospecting for this, and is mining already, and he's committed the first 1 million tons, and he's looking at about a $40 billion lithium industry in Nigeria. And so this is attractive to investors, and we will market it more.
That's great to hear. Minister, thank you very much for joining us here today and Africa Down Under. We look forward to the Australian-Nigerian mining relationship to keep growing and growing in future years. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. In fact, this afternoon I met with the Western Australian Minister of Mining, Bill Johnson, and we had very good engagements. We are going to extend the frontiers of cooperation between Nigeria and Australia in the mining sector.
It's wonderful to hear. Thank you.